Indeed, yesterday, President Zelensky impressively described the unfolding of Putin's war, the atrocities and the cruelties, the ruthlessness of Putin's army, sparing neither children nor women, neither young nor old. And President Zelensky described the courage of Ukrainians who are resisting bravely. They have the whole European Union behind them. Democracies of the world stand together against Putin's war. And if there's anything Putin did not expect, it is our unity, it is the speed of our action, and it is our determination. We will further increase our support to Ukraine, we will sharpen our sanctions, and we will break free from Russian fossil fuels. First on sanctions, the four waves of sanctions we took against Russia are biting hard. They're running deep into the Russian economy, drying out the resources to finance this war. Now all our efforts should be on enforcing these sanctions and on preventing circumvention and evasion. Second, on support to Ukraine, right now round about 10 million Ukrainians are either internally displaced or seeking shelter abroad. They need urgently our help. In Ukraine, we provide humanitarian aid. We are also actively working on securing safe passage for humanitarian convoys. And I want to thank from the bottom of my heart those EU countries bordering Ukraine, which are welcoming refugees with open arms. To support them, we have made available important sums of money. I'm talking about the 17 billion euros, mostly from flexibilized cohesion funds. This money can be used for schooling, for housing, healthcare, for example. The amounts are important, but we also need to know that speed really matters at the moment being, and the money is needed now. And this is the reason why we're making sure that 3.4 billion euros of this bigger package of 17 billion will be front-loaded, so to give immediately liquidity to the member states that are hosting refugees. We also support those in Ukraine who so bravely resist the Kremlin's forces. We ramped up our support to Ukraine with 1 billion from the EU budget for military assistance, and many EU members are delivering such assistance on a bilateral basis. On top of this, we have presented measures to support food security and agriculture in Ukraine, because Putin's war is starting to have a serious impact on food security in Ukraine and globally. Ukraine and Russia together account for 1/3 of the world's wheat exports. Therefore, we must avoid a global food crisis, and we have to act now. We're providing 2.5 billion euros until 2024 to help the regions most affected by food insecurity. Third and finally, on breaking free from Russia's fossil fuels. This morning, President Biden and I agreed on an unprecedented partnership to reduce Europe's dependency on Russian gas. And in parallel, we agreed in this partnership to really accelerate the green transition. As a first step, the United States will provide us with an additional at least 15 billion cubic meter of LNG this year. In other words, this replaces the amount of Russian LNG for this year. And in the coming years, we're aiming for at least 50 billion cubic meters per year, and this would be able to replace 1/3 of all Russian gas supply to Europe. This is significant. And on top, our investment will also pave the way for the deployment of green energy, because the infrastructure that we use for gas today and that we are investing in can also be used for clean hydrogen in the future. This agreement with the United States was a positive development ahead of the leaders' discussion on energy this morning. And this is my last remark. We looked at various options to cushion the impact of high energy prices on consumers and businesses. Measures such as income support or state aid, vouchers, reduced taxation, price caps, modulating prices, contracts for difference, etc. All options we presented have pros and cons. But first and foremost, we need to look at the root causes of high electricity prices, and this is in big part high and volatile gas prices. The energy mix and concrete situation in our member states is very different, but we need to work together to pull our weight. And this is why I advocated for a strong European approach. If we look at the gas market, the pipeline gas market, 75% of the global pipeline gas market is the European market. So we have an enormous purchasing power. Therefore, I welcome that we will now use our collective bargaining power. Instead of outbidding each other and driving prices up, we will pool our demand. In addition, we must complete pipeline infrastructure and ramp up our storage and the interconnectors. We proposed a minimum storage of 80% underground for next winter, rising to 90% then in the following years. This will be our insurance policy against supply disruption. But it is also time to look at the design of our energy market. You know this topic. This is the question of decoupling the gas price from the overall electricity price. We will present options for that in May. Thank you very much.